Oil, directional volume. Oil, directional volume.
iLife V7S Plus is a robot vacuum cleaner that can vacuum and mop simultaneously. In the meantime, eye-dropping technology keeps the mop wet at the minimum amount of water usage. Simple and convenient to use. All you need to do is to fill the water tank, put the tank back, and start. In the case you don't need mopping, use the dust collector only. Apply to any surface. It could even climb up to 15 degrees and move smoothly on the carpet. Multiple cleaning modes available, including auto cleaning mode, edge cleaning mode, which focuses on corners and edges, spot cleaning mode, targeting on a specific area, and schedule cleaning mode. Its slim body design adds to its mobility, making it easier to reach narrow spaces. Perfect anti-collision system, minimizing the impact for any possible collision. Equipped with 4 cliff sensors, which prevents iLife V7S Plus from falling off stairs. Huge battery capacity allows for up to 2 hours of cleaning. It returns to its charging base automatically when the battery was low. Once the self-charging process is done, it's good to go again.
Trading is not for everyone, but if you are a trader, Plus 500 is the place for you. With just a few clicks.
Hi, today I'm going to compare the cleaning performance of the iLife V7S here on my left and the Xiaomi robot vacuum here on my right. More specifically, I'm gonna clean a measured amount of rolled oats and powder to those. What's left here? It was
Oil, directional volume.
Show you what's left. It's at 65 and it's not going up anymore. So I guess the Xiaomi was able to pick up 3 grams more. Maybe give or take 1 or 2 grams because of the powder that's scattered here on the floor. But to conclude, the Xiaomi was able to pick up a little bit more and do it much more efficiently than the V7S. The V7S did really well, but it's not as efficient.
Welcome to Vacuum Wars and welcome to our Best Robot Vacuum Competition 2019 edition. Last year we tested about 14 robot vacuums and this year we added 18 more for a total of 32 robot vacuums. We broke up this competition into 3 categories: the budget robots for robot vacuums $250 or less, the mid-level for robots between $250 and $500, and the premium bots which are $500 and up. You can check the links in the description for timestamps to each category and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars while you're there. We tested things like their suction power and airflow, their ability to pick up debris on hard floors and carpet, how well they deep cleaned carpet, their battery life, their coverage and navigational abilities. We took into account their various features and current prices. We gave them all scores and really feel like we came up with some excellent picks for each price range. I should mention that 9 of these robot vacuums had been sent to me for free in the past to do reviews, and one of those did end up winning its category, while the other 2 winners I bought with my own money. So keep that in mind as we go through this, but in general, while I don't claim to do laboratory quality tests or anything, I do try really hard to design tests that are objective and minimize any personal bias that I might bring to the table. Starting off with the budget robot vacuums, the main thing to know is that robot vacuums in this price range are all kind of dumb, meaning that they all navigate in more or less random patterns, unlike smart robot vacuums that start to show up in the next category. And while we found that random robots can clean a single room about as fast as the more expensive smart robots, the downside is that they're not as good when trying to clean large floor plans. They can do it, but the more battery life they have, the more likely they are to get to the entire house. Anyway, starting off with power, here we measure their airflow with an anemometer on all their power settings and found that the Eufy 11S and the Corti R500 Plus were tied for first place. The iLife A4S came in just behind them, followed by the Amari A800 in third. There were some adjustments that needed to be made here for the iLife V3 and V5 because they're only meant to clean hard floors and so don't have brushes and therefore had an unfair advantage in the airflow test. And in case you're wondering, this is the point system I'll be using during this competition. With hard floor pickup, it was extremely close. They all did pretty good. Some of them lost points for their side brushes scattering debris too much. Some lost points for their exhaust blowing light debris around. Some had too little airflow to do well with heavier debris like sand on hard floors. But here are the scores for this round, with the Corti and the Eufy tied for first place. Most of them did pretty good with carpets, but some, like the iLife V3 and V5, lost points because of that suction-only port, which made them pretty bad on carpets. The other iLife, the V4S, lost points for its side brush getting bogged down with medium and longer carpets. But in general, carpet debris pickup is something that most robot vacuums do pretty good at, so there was actually a 5-way tie here. With battery life, I basically just took the longest possible stated battery life numbers from the manufacturer, and they were all very close, but the iLife A4S had a touch more at 140 minutes, with a 4-way tie for second place at 120 minutes. With our deep clean test, we embed exactly 100 grams of sand into medium pile carpet, ran the vacuums for 5 minutes, and weighed the dustbins to see how much they picked up. The Corti R500 Plus took the top spot with the Deebot N79S and the Eufy 11S right behind it. Pet and human hair tangles on the brushes are much more common for these cheaper robots, and we tested them with 1 gram of 5-inch human hair spread out evenly on hard floors, and found that the two that don't have brushes, the iLife V3 and V5, obviously did the best, but of the ones that have brushes, the Deebot N79S did the best, followed by the Corti and the Eufy 11S. In the interest of time, I'll move quickly forward, but we did test other things like their performance on the crevice pickup test, which shows how good of a seal they have on hard floors. I took noise level, bin size, and current prices into account, and I even checked their online reviews in various places to make sure there weren't any catastrophic issues I had missed. After adding it all up, the Corti R500 Plus was the winner, followed very closely by the Eufy 11S, which is very similar to the Corti in many ways, and the Deebot N79S in third place. Moving on to the mid-level category, where we start to see a lot more smart robots, meaning that they use cameras or invisible lasers to map out your house and intelligently navigate
Oil,
in more or less
directional
straight
volume.
lines. This makes them more efficient, and it allows them to do many more things with the apps that the dumb robots can't do. Right off the bat, we see that 7 of the 11 robots in this price range are smart, and they got 3 points each for that. I only gave the Roborock E25 and E35 2 points though, because although they technically act like smart robots in many ways, they aren't using cameras or lasers, but programming to accomplish the same thing, and therefore have a lot less features than other smart robot vacuums. The Shark R85 and Roomba 690, which has essentially been replaced by the Roomba 675, were random navigation robots, and so no points for them. In terms of power, specifically airflow, there was a 3-way tie for first, with the Shark R85, Nito D3, and Roborock S4, followed closely by the Deebot 901, and a 3-way tie for third place. But in general, all of these robots are much more powerful than the budget robot vacuums. For example, every robot that's simply placed here is quite a bit more powerful than the most powerful budget robot vacuum. That power showed up in several ways. In general, I would say that they were all much better with hard floor pickup, doing better with heavy fine debris like sand than the budget vacuums. There were some like the Samsung which didn't do quite as well with larger debris, but in general they were all pretty good at their basic job. The big winners with carpet and hard floor pickup though were the Roborocks. I've said it many times, but I think they have some of the best mechanics when it comes to debris pickup, and they picked up some points in this round. So because these are mostly smart vacuums in this category, I also scored their navigational ability, giving special attention to their efficiency and general smartness at getting around obstacles. Here all the winners were the LiDAR bots, or robots that use lasers instead of cameras. There are pros and cons to each method of navigation, but laser-based robots tend to be faster, with the Roborock S4 and the Nito D4 tying for first place with the Roborock S5 right behind them. This brings up one of my favorite features though, which is virtual no-go lines, or sometimes called virtual barriers. This is where you can draw lines or boxes on the map in the app to keep the robot from going where you don't want it to go. I think it's the future of robot vacuums, and just about every robot vacuum manufacturer is in the process of adding it to their higher-end robots. In this price range though, only 5 of them have it, and they got 4 points each. Roombas haven't got much love in this competition yet, but one area where they're almost unbeatable is with carpet deep cleaning. This is because iRobot patented a 2-roller brush system, which is amazing for carpet agitation, and so they tend to do much better than their competitors at getting that deep down dirt. And the Roombas took the top spots here, followed by the Nito D4 and the Roborock S5. With battery life, there was a 3-way tie with the Roborocks getting the top spots, which have some of the best battery life numbers in the industry, though it should be noted that with smart navigation robot vacuums, they do automatically return to their bases when their battery is low, and then resume cleaning exactly where they left off when they charge back up. So battery life is a lot less of an issue with smart navigation bots because they will clean the entire floor plan no matter what. Again, to move things along, we took into account the noise level, the bins, the crevice test, and of course the price, and the winner of the mid-level category was the Roborock S5, followed super closely by the Roborock S4 and the Deebot 901. The Roborock S5, which has been one of our favorites for a long time, has a mopping attachment which helped push it in front of the newer Roborock S4, which doesn't have the mop option, but if you don't need a mopping attachment, you might consider getting the S4, which is about $100 cheaper and actually has a lot of upgrades that the S5 doesn't have. That being said, there's also an update to the S5 coming out soon called the Roborock S5 Max, which I will also link below when it becomes available. And again, for transparency, the second and third place vacuums here were sent to me for free in the past. The first place S5 was not. Next up is the main event, the premium robot category, and it should be said that the price difference between the vacuums here is way more than the other categories. For example, the least expensive robots in this category, like the Shark IQ Robot Auto Empty and the Roomba 960, are over $800 cheaper than the Roomba S9 Plus, which is probably the most expensive robot vacuum on the market. So keep all that in mind as we go forward, and I will take prices into account with the scoring. You've probably already noticed the big difference with the premium robots, which is the auto empty bin systems, which are currently only available on the Roomba S9 Plus, the Roomba i7 Plus, and the Shark IQ Robot Auto Empty. It's a feature I really love. Basically, when the robot automatically returns to the dock, a motor on the base kicks in and it sucks the dirt out of the dustbin. I've had nothing but positive experiences while testing all three of these. I think it makes you feel like you have a real deal, truly automated cleaning system in your house, and they all got an extra 4 points for having this feature. With power, the Ecovacs Dbot 950 was the winner, with this test getting pretty confusing for the number 2 and 3 spots, because while the S9 Plus had a touch more airflow, at least with the auto empty version of the Shark had quite a bit more suction than the Roomba S9 Plus. Also, I wasn't able to test the power on the Dyson 360 because of its shape. Long story short, I'm going to score the power round like this, which is my best guess, even though it's not as clear-cut as I would like it to be. But it goes without saying that most of these are as powerful as you would ever need them to be. With navigation, they all did amazing, with near-perfect coverage and really smart algorithms for navigating around obstacles. Really, the only thing to grade them on here was speed, and the Roborock S6 was the most efficient, followed by the other two LiDAR-based robots. With pickup, they were all excellent robot vacuums, and really, at this level, they all do their job very well. There were a few minor nitpicks that I discussed in the individual reviews, which caused some of them to lose points, however. It was no surprise that the deep clean category went to the Roombas, with the S9 Plus taking the top spot, with the Roomba 960 second place, and the Shark IQ in third position, with the best non-Roomba score I've seen to date. The No-Go Lines app feature, which I like so much, is included in almost all the robots at this level, but the Roomba 960 doesn't have it, and the Shark IQ Robot currently doesn't have it, but it is rumored to have it in a future app update, so I gave it 1 point in good faith that it will have it someday. So before I announce the winners, be sure to pay attention to the disclaimer afterwards, since it is a little more in-depth this time. But taking all that into account, the best robot vacuum in the premium category, and probably the best value robot vacuum in this entire competition, is the Shark IQ Robot Auto Empty, followed by the Dbot 950 and the Roomba S9 Plus. Again, full disclosure, I was sent 2 of these for free to review in the past, and I even did some minor consulting work for and appeared in the infomercial for the Shark IQ Robot, for which I was paid. But I really do think it's the best. It's a premium robot with out-of-this-world specs, and honestly could have been put in the mid-level price category if it was about $50 cheaper, and being so much cheaper than all of its premium competitors, it really makes it a solid choice in my opinion. So links in the description to everything I mentioned, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you leave. Thanks for watching.
Hey everyone, welcome to my review of the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus robot vacuum. So I have been looking for a robotic vacuum for a while, and this is iRobot's latest model. They just released it. It's their new i series, and this is the i7, which is the top of the line model, and this is also the Plus. So the Plus means that it has a new charging base that has an integrated dirt disposal system that automatically empties the vacuum. So one of the reasons I was sort of hesitating on these is because you have to keep emptying the bin on them, and they're not very big, obviously, because the unit itself is not huge. So they fill up a lot, and you have to, from the reviews I read, people have talked about having to constantly empty them. So that was kind of a pain. But their latest series, this Plus series, just switches out the charging base with a new base that also has sort of a built-in tower vacuum, which has a like a disposal bag in it. And then what happens when the robot goes back to the base to recharge, it also empties itself by supposedly sucking up the dirt out of the bin up into this bag. So If I flip this over here, you can see a little picture on the side. So what's supposed to happen is, and we'll see if it actually does work, is it comes up to its base and then it sucks the dirt out and goes up into a disposal bag in this unit. So that was kind of the thing that sold me on it, and this is also their latest generation, so that means that they've made some improvements to it. It has more suction power, a whole bunch of other things. Obviously it's smart home enabled for either Alexa or Google Home, and a lot of it's controlled through the app. It's supposed to automatically map the floors, so you can like take it to different floors and it should be able to do all the different floors. So we'll see. There's no guarantee I'm going to keep it. It's just one of these things that I finally decided I was going to try. I do have a lot of, as you can see here, hardwood floors in the house. The entire first floor is basically hardwood floors. I do have some carpeting right here, but it's very low pile. Very thin low pile carpet, like in the dining room. The kitchen is all tile, so, and there's not really cords or anything hanging on my floor, so I figured this would be a good unit to try and see if I could keep the wood floors dust free, basically. So that's why I got it. So we'll see if it actually works, but we'll do a review on it and the software and everything. So why don't we unbox it and see what we get inside here. Okay, so we open the box here. It looks like we've got 3 main boxes here. So there's one with a handle actually. So let's pull this up. I expect this is the vacuum, of course, which it is. So there's the vacuum itself. Pretty simple. It just has 3 buttons on the top. There's a home button, a clean button, and then some other button here. We'll have to look up and see what that is. And if we pull it out here, you can see the bottom here. It's got some rollers, different style rollers here. Looks like they're rubber. Got some wheels, and then looks like the edge, little edge brushes here. So that's pretty much the unit. It's all assembled. You don't have to do anything. And then here we've got, looks like some instructions. We got a quick start card, and of course everything today, first thing you gotta do is download an app. So it looks like you gotta download the app, plug it in, put it on the charging base, and let it sit for a couple hours probably while it charges up. And there's a couple other manuals in here, and that's pretty much it for the first box. So it's just the vacuum itself. And we have a box here with a plug and gear on it. So this is probably all the accessories. So looks like we